Hey, Jono here. Thank you for joining me for episode 18 of the new game run in Hirschfelden. We are heading towards the ground blind that I set up at the end of last episode. I've gone back in time, 4:30. The zone activates at 5. I am hopeful that I'll get there before 5. I will. What I'm really hopeful for is that I'm not going to cross paths. I'm not going to cross paths with any of the actual boar. In my main game that I play, I don't record, but when I'm playing in my main save, I sometimes do what I'm doing now. Like, what I like to do, it's not the most efficient way to hunt for diamonds, but I'm just not really into grinding for diamonds so much. What I'll do is stuff like that, where I run around, find tracks. 82 to 100 kg for a fallow deer is, diamond weight. And then I will, depending where they are, like this one I happen to spot straight away. It's like, okay. But I normally track it down and be like, oh, it's, is it a diamond? Is it not? Like, sometimes you find them like that. Depending on the animal. Some animals finding potential diamonds based on weight. Some animals are far more common in that weight class. So I don't really bother to pursue them. But what I sometimes do, depending on, like, let's say it's an animal I really would like a diamond of, like, let's say it's a bear or something like that, and it's max weight, the tracks are max weight. I haven't spotted the bear yet, so I don't know if it's a diamond or not. But what I do is, I try and follow the tracks. Sometimes I backtrack on them to find a need zone. And then I will change the time so that, perfect, I knew this was nearby, but pretty much right at it. I changed the time so that I can get there about half an hour early. You don't want to be too close to when it's activated. I find a good spot to, deal with the wind and that. Sometimes following the tracks too. When you find the need zone and you look at the tracks, it can get you...
Do you see that tree over there? That's Old Mueller.
We've already done this! Yeah. Goddamn it, Connor, you make me lose my train of thought. Sometimes I look at the tracks around the need zone just to get an idea of which direction the animal came from. It can help for setting up for, I'll say ambushing them, but for waiting for them to come into your trap, which is the need zone. Because if they come from, like, say I know that the animal is coming from the east to the need zone. Right now the wind's blowing in that direction, so I'm going to have to find a position so that it does not, detect me. It's no good waiting for it to show up if it's just going to be, like, downwind to me and just not show up. But I've had a couple times where need zones have actually co-aligned, I'll say. I don't know if that's word for it at all. Like, either the animal has a need zone that's nearby, that's active at the time that I'm actually trying to set myself up beforehand. So for instance, let's say this need zone is active from 5... what was it? 5 till 9. But for all I know, there could be like a resting need zone like here that's active from like 3 till 5 or something like that. So I've actually spooked all those boar off coming here. So you almost need to readjust your approach or the actual change need zones. I had that for, I was in Mississippi and I had a potential grey fox need zone. And I was like, okay, and I think it was active. It was a feeding zone. And it was active from 4 AM till 7 AM. I'm starting to keep notes of when need zones are active, which is why I remember 4 AM to 7 AM. So I was like, alright, sweet. I will show up at about 3:30. Or, see, we're a little closer to 5 than I would have liked, but hopefully it's okay. I will show up at 3:30, and I will wait for this fox to arrive. And the thing is, even though the zone is active from 5, it does not mean that they will be here necessarily at 5. It can take till 5:30, closer to 6 sometimes. Usually they're there within the hour, but it depends on where their previous need zone was. So sometimes animals show up like 2 minutes past the hour. It's really not common, but it does happen because, let's say, yeah, like I said with the boar, like let's say that's them resting. I know it's not, but let's just pretend that they sleep here till 5. 5 o'clock on the dot, they'll leave here and they'll head this way. But if their nearest need zone is like a drink zone over here, they have to come all the way over. So it can take quite a long time. And that's also why, yeah, you don't want to be like showing up at 5 because you're crashing, bashing around, you spooked them, they're gone, now you gotta wait and hope they come back. It's not really worth it, in my opinion. Depends on the need zone. Sometimes when they're drinking at a lake, if you're gonna come from quite a distance away from the need zone, you might want to show up, at 5:30, like half an hour after their drink zone, and they might already be there. But if you've come from a distance and that, you might not spook them. But it's much harder when they're inland. So anyway, I had this grey fox. Why do I always get stuck with the bloody geese? I had a need zone. Oh, it's mating cool. A lot of things just aren't showing up, which is annoying, but I'm wondering if the boar are going to come from this direction. I'm hoping not, because out of all the positions to set my blind up in, I've put my thing in a crappy spot. But this grey fox, yeah, 4 till 7, so I show up at 3:30. I've got a hunting tripod. I'm nice and high, got a clear view. And I'm waiting, and it just no sign of this grey fox. And by about 4, just after 5 AM, I decide, I'm going to get down, I'm going to have a look around, because this is strange. And I had my light turned off. I mean, you wouldn't be able to see tracks or anything, but I just find when the light's on, you just can't see nearly as well. So, like, most of the time I just have it off. So I had it off, I turned the light on, and I could see grey fox tracks. And I was like, oh, that's weird, they're really close by. And then I checked them, and it was the diamond weight, the one I was waiting for. And it's like, how the hell did it walk, like, basically, like, right by me, without me hearing it, or seeing it? That's really odd. And so I followed the tracks a bit, and I had him running, so it's like, okay, he'd been spooked. But there was another need zone, another feeding need zone. And that went from midnight till 4. And that need zone was, like, right next door. It was basically, like, yeah, not even that far apart. They were just, like, super close to each other. So basically, this red fox, they have 2 feeding times. They have more than 2, but there's one that goes from midnight till 4 AM, and then 4 AM till 7 AM. So basically, from midnight till 7, grey foxes are feeding. So I'd shown up at 3:30, which to me was half an hour before the grey fox would be there. But in actual fact, grey fox was already there, and all I did was scared it off. So I had to come back at 11:30 and wait for it to show up. And so, yeah, I've noticed it with a couple things. I also had a raccoon that was potential diamond. So I was trying the same thing, and unfortunately I had a feed zone. Well, it's weird with raccoons, because I'm under the impression that, like, the trash cans are their feed zones. Okay, my internet's down, so that's why that's popped up. Which means I'm going to get a message in a second telling me that I'm offline. I'm under the impression that raccoons eat at night. Sorry, what am I talking about? I'm under the impression that raccoons eat from the trash cans, but I had a feed zone just in the middle of a field, and there was no, here we go. There was no, carcass or, anything. It was just tracks, but it had a feed zone. And it was in the middle of the field, terrible for, why is this still doing this? This normally goes away really quick. Normally it just instantly pops up telling me, like, I'm not online, do I want to play offline? It doesn't do an online login for ages. I might have to jump out, which is going to irritate me. Anyway, I had, here we go. Yeah, go offline. I don't care, like, thank you. Would have been pissed if the ball was actually right there. So, poor visibility, because it was in a field with short stuff like this. It had, like, big crops. Raccoons are small, so terrible for seeing. But I waited forever, no sign of it. And then, it turned out what was happening was it had a drink zone, a feeding zone, and a resting zone. But it would go from the drink zone through the feeding zone to the resting zone, and then back to the feeding zone. And I guess every time I was trying to come in, I was just scaring it off from a different zone. So I just had to keep going earlier and earlier in time till I could finally get a need zone that it was going to show up to and not already be at. And it wasn't even a diamond anyway. That's why I don't really recommend, if you're grinding for diamonds, you're best off using need zones like drink ones where you get a clear view. If you have tents, they make life much easier because you can set up tents nearby. Here we go. I'm just going to go for whatever I can. I'm not going to be picky about weight. Trying to get one side on. No. Come on, baby. Show me. What are you trying to do? Bloody scopes too. Even at this distance. Okay. Ooh. They will be back. They will be back. I hope. This is where I was saying in the other episode, like, the downfall of having one shot. I could have fired into the arse of a boar and probably killed it from that, but no. But I didn't really want to do that. Unfortunately, the wind has now decided to creep a little more in the direction that they could be coming from, which is a shame. Yeah, if you're going to grind for a diamond, I would recommend working out their drink time, finding drinking areas. If you've got the tents, set them up not too close, but a couple 100 meters away at least from, oh, that's a rock, from the area or where you'll have a clear shot. And depending on the animal, use a rifle that can fire multiple shots. You really want to just be like every male. If it's males, like like with wild boar, you're going after males, not females. So you just want to like down as many males as you can, harvest them, move to the next place, and just have a cycle. Basically, that's what I would do. Like that's what I did in Park Fernando when it came to the mission. We gain a diamond of everything. There are a couple that I got by pure luck, like the water buffalo. On my very first visit, I found a diamond water buffalo, and luckily, even though the mission hadn't started, it came up after I had harvested it anyway. So that was sweet that it wasn't something that I had to wait until she mentioned the mission, and it's like, oh, I've already bagged like 5 diamonds. Basically, I have to do it again. But I had 2 diamond axes there in the exact same group. That was pretty cool. And there was a puma that I happened to spot that was a diamond. That was it was a bit cheap because there was a bug at the time where like puma were kind of like getting sort of stuck in place instead of fleeing. So I'd actually spooked this puma. I'd given out a call, and then I saw it standing across a lake or something, and its description said it was fleeing, but it was actually like stuck stiff. So I took the shot and yeah, got my diamond. I was really happy with that. I wasn't looking forward to grinding for a diamond puma. But some of the animals I had to grind and grind and grind. The mule deer was the biggest offender. I killed a few hundred mule deer before it finally appeared. Yeah, that really did my head in. I actually, yeah, I was getting really over the game by that point, because every day I was spending like an hour to 2 hours just grinding nothing but mule deer. Just, yeah, and was like, oh my god, never again. And yeah, that's why I don't like grinding the diamonds. I like to just go out, find some tracks, see if they're like diamond weight, follow them, see what I come across. And yeah, obviously most of the time it's not a diamond, but every now and then it's exactly that, and I find it more satisfying. But I mean, each to their own. The only other thing I should mention with the mule deer grind for a diamond was I made the mistake. I didn't realize for quite a while. Wish those balls would come back. I might have to quit out, jump back in time and that again, because the wind's now blowing exactly where I'm expecting them to come from. But yeah, with the mule deer, what I didn't realize until basically afterwards was if you don't harvest an animal, it will respawn when you quit the game. Like the exact same animal. Gosh, right there. So there were a bunch of mule deer there. Because I was using lakes, one of the disadvantages is if it's 300 meters away, or not even that, it might be 100 meters away, but depending on the shape of the lake, you have to run all the way around. Just get the rifle out. That wind! Even though the wind's more over there, I don't know why it spotted me. That was a bit surprising. I wonder if... I never really thought about whether leaving a carcass out actually causes issues. I'm going to go get it. And then I think I'm going to jump back and... It'll cost more to sleep, but I think I'll do that. I can't believe it's been 20 minutes already. Yeah, you might harvest a mule deer. You down it, but you got to go all the way around the lake. How much did that weigh? 81. Okay, so it won't count for the other mission. You know, like, you shoot one from here, and if you can't cross here, you need to go all the way around to get it. So I just, because I didn't care like about the money or the XP or anything like that, I just got to a point where I was downing mule deer and not harvesting them. Because I couldn't be bothered to go. Sometimes I would, if it was kind of close enough, or if I was circling around to get other deer. But most of the time I just shot them dead, and then was like, right, move on. So I think, like, yeah, I may have downed like a few hundred before getting my diamond, but if you looked at, I'm gonna do this and I shouldn't make a difference, but I am gonna quit to the main menu and come back. Yeah, you're definitely quite a few that I was not harvesting them, so all I was doing was wasting my own time, to be honest. I wish I'd realized that much earlier, like... So it's good to remember for... you have to be careful, but... Especially if you've got a need zone linked to an animal. No, I have to do this again. If you've got a need zone linked to an animal, like say that need zone that I've got for boar, if there's a diamond that's tied to it, it will always go there. And so if you, say you make the shot and you know, like you didn't hit a vital and it dies, you know you're not going to get that diamond grade, you're better off just quitting out and coming back in, and the diamond will respawn. He might not show up immediately, but he will respawn. But yeah, like I said, you gotta be careful with it, because I'm sure there have been times where it just hasn't worked that way for me, and most of the time I have a backed up save, so I can just utilize that. But that's a good one to do too. If you can back up your save, yeah, you can use that. Hopefully the hunting pressure won't affect him. The boar. God, I'm just still annoyed that they finally returned, and for whatever reason it was just like, nope, like didn't even get a chance to, like, because I was at that point was like, I don't care now, like I've waited ages, I'm just gonna like take the shot, hopefully hit a vital. As long as I hit it with enough damage to kill it, I don't really care. I should have shot one in the butt and just made peace with that, like, instead of wasting like 20 more minutes. So yeah, that's the thing, this setup that I'm doing, yeah, it can take a long time. Like, there are times where I, like, yeah, it's basically like half an hour per attempt, sometimes, depending on when they show up and all that. But, yeah, and the other thing too with diamond grinding, if you have the tripod DLC, that can be really helpful. Not just because it gives you, like, you can set up our lake, and especially some lakes have lawn, like, grass, weeds, whatever you want to call them.
Do you see that tree over there?
Oh my god, are you going to do this every
That's
time? So yeah, sometimes visibility is poor. There's a lot of lakes in Silver Ridge Peaks that have that, and it's easy to just not even see animals drinking. So if you set up the tripod, you want to be at least 150 meters away, otherwise you'll spook them. But if you set up at a lake, climb on up, you can see a lot of animals that you just wouldn't have seen before. Or you can have a better view, a clearer view of them. And also, hunting from one of them creates less hunting pressure, which is good for grinding diamonds, because if you're making less hunting pressure, it's easier to have it disappear. So, if you've got a good circuit going of drinking need zones, that's what I was worried about. I don't want to spook them off. If you have a good selection of drinking need zones. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What's that, mating? Yeah, that's better. If you have a good selection of need zones, that's not what I selected. A good selection of need zones, you can make a circuit, and by the time you get back to the beginning, all the hunting pressure's gone. And yeah, you can start again. You don't really need to worry about causing any real damage. It's just a real shame that this direction they come from is not where I set up my blind for. And this is what I was talking about before with, if you've seen tracks and paid attention, I would have set up over there somewhere. I was expecting them to come basically from the south. Or, yeah, southeast. And even east, because depending on the distance, they won't smell you straight away. You might be able to bag one from 300 meters away. So instead, I really have to just hope that they just show up and I can get this over and done with. So I hear something. Hopefully not in the head. Hard to tell. Did not want to risk it fleeing. No organs hit just now. Okay. Bleed rate very low. I can't remember if this will be enough to do it. And with the mission, hang on, maybe if I change. Hard to tell if that's one or not. Crap. So they're all bloody... I mean, I should bag that 4-1, but... really need to... This area that they're coming in seems to be a much better location to actually be doing this. I'm hoping... okay, 25 to 50. Yeah, he should die. I guess hunting from a blind also creates less hunting pressure. I thought it was just the stands. Yeah, there you are. Okay. My internal conflict was, do I pack up my blind? Actually I wanted to look. Okay, yeah, one of those crappy... It sort of glances and it just doesn't penetrate enough. So it's actually a silver. It's a shame. I thought I might have just shot in the head, but dead is dead. Mission is complete. Harvest 2 boars downed with a handgun. I have a handgun. I have quite a potent handgun. Okay, well, yay, sloppy mission. Definitely not the ideal spot. Out of all the places for them to be coming in, I picked, it's further in. I picked a bad spot for my blind. That's the sort of, problem of a need zone when you don't really take a good look at where everything's coming from. But that's one of the things I hate about a fixed stand. At least with this, if it was causing too many problems, I could always pick up my blind, move it to a better spot, and try again. With a fixed one, tough. You just have to, like, deal with it. You know, I'd just have to wait and hope that some ball came from a different direction. So, dismantle. Okay. It'd be so handy if you could dismantle them from the map, but it's not a big deal. Tents aren't bad, of course, because you can fast travel to the tent to pack it up, but blinds, yeah, they can be a real nuisance. So, Tressler wants 2 balls with a handgun. Connie wants 2 animals with a handgun down south. Way down. Jesus, there we go, map. Are there boar down here? I thought there were. I haven't really been in this area. Anyway, what I'm going to do is head down south, because we've got a couple missions to do. Jonesdorf, we've still got that. I need to remember that. Handgun. That doesn't mention night. It just says 2 sick male bison. Oh my god, why is this map so, like... Maybe it's just a way bigger map than I'm used to. It just feels like I'm so far away. Yeah, that's here. So we might look at that. And I forgot about the fox within 30 meters. Which could also work with the handgun. And that was down south, yeah. So let's get Bhandari going. But what we're gonna do is, for the 3rd fucking time, sorry, gonna do that. We're gonna change the time to the morning. The bison should be there at any point. It doesn't say harvest them at night. I think the last time I did this, when I recorded the missions, I did it at night. I tried. At some point I realized, unless it's night specific, don't do it at night. There's just way less visibility. It's, you know... I mean, it depends on the animal, too. Like, I remember some are such a pain to find that, yeah, 2 beds. Some are such a pain to find in a specific area that you'll take what you can get. What did I need for that 4570 caliber? Ah, that's the store. Alright. I guess I'll take that. No, I won't. What am I doing? Oh my god. There. Wait, what am I doing? All over the show. Do I have the ammo with me? Yep. I know it's in Jonesdorf and we're not there. I just want to be prepared. I'll probably forget. I don't have a site for it. It's fine. So, this way. I wonder if that's an outpost. This one could be fiddly. I also remember with this mission, it was really annoying that I was coming from the south, and I remember there being it's a small mission area and there's a slight little hill, and I had to go up that hill to have a view of the bison, but that puts you like immediately in front of them, so they basically just flee. I can't remember the video, but I do remember dealing with that, and it's possible I just had to shoot them as they were fleeing. I think you need 2, don't you? It didn't tell me yet. That's what was like a real annoying thing with them. It says that they're sick, which is handy. Let's see what this is. Point of interest, isn't it? Full information. Fleeing. This pistol doesn't do. Then yeah. Pretty sure there's no point really shooting these ones. Inspect that. Screw it. How are you going for health? You're gonna die trying to get up here, aren't you? Whee! Wah! Little ride. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I like the Rhino 454. That's my favorite handgun. That's just so overpowered. Like, when I play my main save, if I'm in somewhere like Silver Ridge or here and there's bison, I like to, if they're at a distance, I shoot them with that rifle. Because often, especially, you know, if they're a few hundred meters away, you might land a vital shot, but they get quite ticked off. They're going to bleed out very slowly. And when they're aggressive, they just come to you. So I just pull out the Rhino, step to the side as they come to me, and then just point blank range, just shoot them in the side. And it just punches straight through them. Like, it's such a overpowered handgun. Because I'm starting to suspect that they've nerfed my Empress. Like, there are a lot of shots now that I take that don't seem to go deep as they used to. But the Rhino still cuts straight through. Like, there's some animals you can shoot them in the rear and it'll go deep enough to hit a lung and you'll pass the harvest check, because even though you went through all the intestines and that, you still hit the lungs. And they just drop. Because I think it covers 4 to 9. So it's a great range. Nice and light. Definitely good to have in areas where there are buffalo. Because bison kind of just get aggressive and then eventually just leave you alone. Water buffalo don't. Buffalo just I got killed at my first visit to Africa because I did not realize that, and I spooked some buffalo, and one of them just came at me, and I sort of dodged around and was waiting for it to just leave me alone, and it's like, oh no, that thing isn't going to give up. They may have changed them now. I haven't actually dealt with buffalo in such a long time that it got to a point where it was actually kind of annoying because you'd spook some. Like, there was a time in, I think, Park Fernando, I was trying to just get from like A to B to activate an outpost, and it went through buffalo territory, and they would just not leave me alone, and I would be just running, and they would just follow you the entire way. So the pistol's really handy to just try and defend yourself. I use it on wolves too, like when wolves get aggressive, there's something really satisfying about them circling you, stopping, and you just like rip them to shreds with it. But yeah, we're nearly here. That wind could not have picked a more annoying... Ah, I know why. I was going to change the time and I completely forgot. I put away my blinds, and then I was meant to rest up. I didn't realise it's obviously still light when we'll get here in time, but I kind of need to, yeah, I just can't win. If I come from the south, it will give me that poor visibility. If I come directly at them, they will smell me. I don't know if I'm even too close now. I think I ended up... Maybe it was this mission. There was one where like I ended up having to come from here, yeah, and I think I just came all the way from the north so I could actually see them. I could be getting confused with another mission. I don't remember all of Bhandari's that well. I just do remember one where it was a tiny little mission area. You had sick bison to target, and I couldn't get a clear view until I was on top of them, and they would just be fleeing straight away. So I think I, at one point, just had to go the long way. But let's see what I can do. I mean, they're gonna flee once I shoot one anyway, and I don't know. It might be another, like the boar, it might be a two-parter where I just... Yeah, see, it says sick. It's a great view. Play it safe and just go for the Luns. Might be able to get a second one depending what happens. Okay, I was going to say that might be my one, and yes it is. If you just get stuck there, bleed out. Come on, just drop. Yeah. Good thing with watching them like that, I think I've mentioned before, is now it's right here. Even though I spotted it over here, it's now on my hunter mate, exactly where it dropped. It can be quite handy when you do a long distance shot and you plan on doing some others, or an animal like you didn't get the like best shot. The animal's going to bleed out eventually, and you just watch it for as long as you can. I mean, obviously you can also just follow its blood trail, but it's kind of nice to just have that lead you straight to the source. Yeah. Interestingness. Because this is almost exactly what I had. Like, maybe I came from the east. I don't know. I just remember having this exact problem of this small emission area. It's going to be a bit different because I shot one already, but they weren't on this side of the hill. And so might even just have the... I need to buy more ammo. Have this out ready to go. Because you were none in any visible spot. And then you would finally, like, yeah, you're going nice and slow like this. Should really be crawling to be even quieter. But yeah, you would eventually finally come up over here to see them fleeing, because, you know, you'd walked like 20 meters up to them. Like, you know, you'd walked right up to them, and that was that. So I don't know how they'll behave. Like, I don't know if they'll come back, or if I should just... harvest this one. And then just, reset. See, and the tracks don't tell you sick, so... Pretty sure they're all sick. Because I needed 2, don't I? Yeah. Oh wait, was it? It just says 2 sick bison, doesn't it? Ah, male. That was lucky. There was an extra criteria I didn't think. Yeah, see, I'm sure. I mean, okay, I did nick the bone. And that may have stopped it from being a double lung. Alright. And yeah, you can't call them, you can't lure them back. The most I could do is find another set that are male. Can I? No, we're gonna do the long painful thing. Which need zone is about the same. I'm gonna fast travel here, change the time, quit out, come back in. We're at the end of the episode, but I will quickly make my way back to that spot and hopefully get us a second male and get this mission done. Make it nice and early. Yeah, a little dark. There we go. Starting to get worried, to be honest. It's like, where the hell are they? Of course, the wind. Yeah, see, I don't know if I've done enough damage. The problem with the side-on is sometimes the bone, I can't remember what they call it, but the leg bone just gets right in the way. But no, that's not the case here. Yeah, do me a favour. I was going to say run to me and then die, so I don't have to come to you, but... Yeah, it's a messy spot, like, coming in from the north. There's a lot of trees and stuff, and you really just want this field, though. I'm surprised how little there is. Like, I didn't see anything else. Luckily, I got 2 males. Yeah, no, I didn't hit the bone that time, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this gun used to just would have double undered that, or just about done it. But yeah, nothing special. But mission complete. What have we got next? Travel to the bridge. Ah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But now I kind of want to... I'm sure there's an outpost there. See, I haven't been virtually south at all. I might take the gamble and run this way. 600 meters. I can't remember outposts, and some of them, most of the time they're sort of in logical places, like you see a question mark on like the end of a road or something here, like, hey, a good chance that that's an outpost. Not always, but sometimes you're just like, nope, middle of a field. There you go. But anyway, that's it for this episode. And the next one, we're going to stick down south for now. Deal with that handgun. Unfortunately, the bison at that bridge will not overlap with Connie's handgun mission. That is not in the same region, pretty sure. Hello, stop. Why are you still running? I'm not in the menu. I could be wrong. Yeah, it is just that. It's not Rendelin. So yeah, we'll deal with the handgun. There's a lot I could potentially cross over with. If I found boars, that would be great. If I find 100 kg plus boars, that'll be even better. I can work on 3 missions at the same time. A coyote gets within 30 meters. I can use the handgun on them with that. That would kind of work really well too, because at that close range, probably want something like a handgun or the shotgun. But yeah, that's it for this episode. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. I actually thought it would be a much shorter episode. I wasn't planning on going into a huge ramble about need zones at the beginning, but thanks for sticking around. And until next time, take it easy.